For those of you who have been to prison/jail, what is it like? I've had multiple stays at county jails in TX. Every minute of it sucks. Having your freedom stripped from you is a terrible experience, even if you know you won't be in long. I visited my dad in prison when I was a kid, and one thing that stuck with me from then to the time that I went to jail was the smell. All jails/prisons seem to have the same funky ass bow/mildew smell. In county jail the food is horrible, and they give you just enough nutrients to survive. People think that everyone works out, but it's hard to have energy or build muscle with the amount of food they give you. You have to be able to make commissary to get more food. Commissary is very necessary. In county it can be prohibitively expensive for a lot of people. Packs of ramen go for like $1 each. In state prison, they feed you more, and commissary is cheaper. You can also get items not in county jail like sodas and ice cream. Depending on where you're at, you will most likely be grouped with offenders who have done similar level crimes. Meaning non-violent housed with non-violent offenders and vice versa. There are times this isn't true. Even though I was in on a non-violent driving offense, I was housed with people on trial for armed robbery, murder, attempted murder. I'm not sure why I was put in that tank. I don't have any history of violence. Maybe it's the way I look, IDK. One of the murderers was actually a really nice guy, to me anyways, and I got along with him well. We discussed philosophy and played chess every day. Pedophiles do not get treated like social media or movies once you believe. They get put in ADSEG/protective custody and are basically untouchable. I heard if you attack a pedophile in jail, you can be charged with a hate crime. I have not been able to verify the accuracy of this claim. You rarely see full sunlight or full darkness. There's always lights on. Fucking fluorescent lights, buzzing all the fucking time. It will drive you mad. Being sick in jail is terrible. Medical care is highly lacking. If you're sick they give you a couple Advil per day and that's it. Mental illnesses are rampant. Some people are on their meds and stable, others have conditions that are undiagnosed and untreated, but clearly off their rocker. Pathological lies are everywhere. Everyone is innocent. Everyone is a big time drug dealer. Everyone is a hard as fuck gangster. You get really tired of hearing people talk about all the money and shit they have out in the world, but they're asking you for a shot of coffee because they don't have money on their books. Coffee, stamps, and ramen works like currency. You can buy different things/services from other inmates. I used to draw, fill out paperwork, write letters and file motions for other dudes to help pass the time. Daytime TV is the most obnoxious shit ever, and you will gain a newfound hatred for it in jail. Dudes will be gathered around the TV watching The View arguing over the dumbest shit. Gay shit happens, but not like you see on TV. If you're a straight dude you might be shocked about what you see in the showers. In the showers, sandals are required. If you go barefoot in the shower you will end up with a fucked up foot infection. I once saw a dude coming off heroin lay down on the floor in the shower. I wanted to puke. There's years of caked on germs and calcified semen on those shower floors and walls. Rape is fairly uncommon, but chances are higher in jail than the free world. For the most part, nobody is trying to take your booty hole. Jailhouse snitches and thieves are hated. If you get caught stealing, you better hope you can fight, because you will get fucked up on sight over a couple packs of noodles. There's probably more, but those are the main things I think people don't realize about jail. Edit, I've thought of some things to add spreads, probably the best food you'll eat inside. Basically a whole bunch of stuff mixed in with ramen, to make it more filling and tasty. My favorite was ramen, tuna, dehydrated beans, and spicy pretzels inside a tortilla. I've made big 20 soup spreads before in a trash bag. That was wild. Don't try it at home. It's not the same, and it will be disgusting. Books. I would have went insane without books. If you know someone in jail, either put some money on their books or send them some books. It really makes a huge difference. Also, you'd be shocked about the number of grown men that are illiterate. Lasting effects of imprisonment. I'm not a psychologist and I've never been to therapy, but I think both being exposed to prison visits at a young age throughout my teen years really affected the way I viewed consequences. To me, going to jail/prison was almost normal. My dad, his friends, lots of people in my family, people in my neighborhood, everyone had been to jail. Personally, I never wanted my family to see me in a cage, so I really didn't like visits. I especially didn't want my son to go through visiting his dad like I did. I think going to jail affected the way I view the world. I'm always paranoid. I actively avoid usually normal situations if it means I might have to deal with law enforcement. I don't know how to shake it. I don't ever want to go back. Edit 2. I can't tell you how appreciative I'm for all your responses, awards, and jokes. To everyone saying I need therapy, I agree. I just don't have insurance or a lot of money, so I'm doing the best I can to manage on my own. This is a long shot, but if there is any reputable organizations out there focused on criminal justice reform or assisting families of those incarcerated, I would love to help. I'm not sure if any skills I have would be useful, but it's something I feel strongly about, and I would love to assist in any way I can. In prison in Colorado, I was roomed with a guy who killed his wife and her lover and split his own throat, yet he was a really nice person to me. There are gangs of every variety, and it was hard. I was roomed with a guy who kidnapped and brutally raped his 9-year-old niece along with his brother, who was only serving time for accessory in a different prison, chained her underneath the sink in his trailer's kitchen, and left her to die there. She was discovered 3 days later after a huge search. Oddly enough, the medical examiner's office I worked for performed the death investigation for that little girl, so I saw all the crime scene photos. I obviously didn't tell him that. I only knew this information because of my work, but when he said his victim's name out loud in an I'm innocent speech, I connected the dots. Huge psychopath, but wasn't violent, and was actually kind of conversational at times. This was only a medium security prison too. It's not quite traditional jail and doesn't last quite as long, but I found it far worse. I was arrested back in the mid-80s in my youth, living in the former Soviet Union in Eastern Europe, and served 8 hours in the farm pit. Basically just a concrete pit at a factory farm that's empty when you go in, but then they shovel in pig shit as the pigs produce it. I thought I was getting off light with a one-day punishment, but honestly it's been almost 35 years, and I'm still a wee bit traumatized from it, and still feel some anxiety when I see a pig farm, even in a movie. I never knew anything could smell or feel that bad. Been in a number of US jails. Food quality varies, but generally you'll be hungry from dinner, 6 p.m., till breakfast, 6 a.m. Usually you can get some commissary items by trading desserts or playing poker if you're good at it. Most of my time is spent sleeping and reading books. Some people prefer TV and you often don't get to choose what's on. I've generally been in minimum security, so haven't seen many fights, but I've been on cell blocks where someone's freaking out for over an hour, and this inevitably happens around midnight when you're trying to sleep. Mostly I've learned to keep my head down and do as the officers say. The beds suck, the food sucks, and you're inside at least 23 hours a day. 3/10 would not recommend. Generally you'll be hungry from dinner, 6 p.m. till breakfast, 6 a.m. Prisons, from what I heard from a few inmates who got out, that the food they serve, the portions are only big enough to feed a 10-year-old at best, and prisons often keep trying to cut costs, making them pretty small, which is why ramen is so valuable, as not only is it good currency, but since this stuff is cheap and filling, it's useful for when you're in a pinch, but supplies are unforgiving though. I've been as a lawyer a couple of times, and that is good enough for me. I'm fairly claustrophobic, So as an attorney visiting clients, you walk through one door, they shut it, and lock it behind you, and a few seconds later unlock the next door you have to walk through. That moment locked between those two doors is awfully creepy for me. Can't imagine being in that for more than a couple hours. Also, it blows my mind that they genuinely don't feed you enough to survive in many jails/prisons. Everyone has to buy from the commissary to subsidize their nutrition. Thanks for watching Reddit Prime. If you enjoy the videos, please subscribe because it's free and you can always change your mind, but as always, no pressure. Stay Prime.